Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about the return of the Predator. The universe's greatest hunters return to Earth in a movie directed by Shane Black, starring Boyd Holbrook, Jacob Tremblay, Olivia Munn, and many, many others. Now, I do have to warn you, there will be spoilers for the movie in this review. While the predators have been coming to Earth for years, we've always thought they came here just to hunt. We thought that they always came back because they thought humans were worthy sport that gave them a challenge. What we didn't know is that they have an ulterior motive for coming here, and it could spell doom for the human race. When it comes to this movie, it seems like audiences and critics alike are pretty split, and honestly, that's about where I am, right in the middle. There were things that I liked about this movie and things that I thought were just, well, plain stupid. So it's really hard for me to even want to recommend this one for, just what it is. I would probably have to say that my best recommendation would be that it is a rental at best. Now, that my pre-spoiler recommendation is out of the way, it's time to get ready to spoil the crap out of this movie for you. So are you still with me? All right, here we go. I'll start with what I liked about this movie. First would have to be the action and violence. I'm happy that this movie was able to just go nuts with how gruesome it was allowed to get. When the action is happening, it's fast-paced and most of the time very entertaining. I think when the action didn't work is when they tried to inject humor into it. More on the humor in a bit. I think I would have rather this movie stuck to straight up action than try to add some slapstick to certain scenes. Okay, so here's a confusing part about this movie. The movie is called The Predator, but there are two Predators. Granted, there is already one of these movies called Predators, so okay, about having two different Predators, while I was already way overtired of having a good guy Predator, and honestly I've been sick of that since the first AVP, and this movie did have one. I liked that the good guy Predator didn't last too long or become the hero of the story. The new Predator, the bigger, stronger, faster, and all-around better Predator, stopped a mud hole in the good guy Predator's ass and made a Predator the villain again, the way it should be. That being said, I'll talk about why the Predator being the villain in this was kind of a bad thing too, story-wise at least. Where the movie falls in the timeline of this franchise is in between Predator 2 and Predators. The story itself does mention the first two movies, but not in real detail. It would have been nice to have some real connection to those movies, like Arnie or Danny Glover, for example, but we know for a fact that Arnie turned down a role in this, and if you want to hear the story behind that, listen to episode 45 of my weekly podcast, Get on the Mic. I talked about it there. This movie did have Jake Busey in it, and he was supposed to be the son of Gary Busey's character from Predator 2. Kid Busey even said so in reviews or in interviews, but the movie never really focuses on that connection at all, so it kind of don't count in a way. I mean, it's there, but it didn't really matter. I really like Jacob Tremblay in this. His character is the son of the main soldier character, played by Boyd Holbrook. His main character trait is that he is on the autism spectrum, which leads to him figuring out Predator technology. One of the characters in the movie talks about a theory that those on the autism spectrum are actually the next stage of human evolution, that it's not a handicap. Of course, this ends up being true in the movie, and he ends up being very important in the battle against the Predators, and this makes the Predators want to take him. I think him being this important came off as a little too convenient in the larger story, though. Too many chance things had to come together for him to really be involved in the overall story. When it came to the humor of this movie, it was very hit and miss. While I like the idea of our heroes being the quote-unquote loony squad, so to speak, I felt like the movie and its characters were trying to be too funny too much. Plus, it wasn't just these characters either. Just about everybody, the loonies, the main soldier, the scientist, the kid, the agent, everybody had jokes, and it got kind of old kind of quick. I know that Shane Black was almost making a parody of the genre in a way by doing this movie, but I think I would have liked something a little less silly in the end. Like I mentioned earlier, having a villain predator was a good thing, but when it came to the overall story, I'm not really sure I like where it's going. You see, the predators are not just here to hunt us anymore. There is no mutual respect between us and them, like we saw at the end of Predator 2. While there may still be some predators that are like this, from a story standpoint, it feels like there are predators that want to now take over the planet as well. This made the Predator feel just like the latest Independence Day and Pacific Rim movies. The ending even kind of felt the same. It had this "it's time to take the fight to them" message to it. While I'm fine with that and would be happy to watch another Predator movie with these characters, it didn't help it feel any less generic. Again, I don't know if I feel confident in recommending this movie in theaters, even though I know that some of you will dig it. I do have a feeling that this might be one that I check out again just to see if I feel differently the second time. That being said, there are many things about the movie that I'm pretty sure about, such as certain aspects like the humor and some of the characters that I could really do without seeing again. For now, I'm just going to call this one a rental at best. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like this video, and if you have anything to say about this movie, please feel free to comment in the section below. Until next time, I'm your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. See you later.